Hey guys, it's Tijani from Maps to Cash, and this is the first video of a series where I'll be documenting my entire process on how I'm helping a rendering contractor get leads from Google. Now, what do I mean by that? So if someone searches for rendering services near me anywhere in Sydney, these three businesses that are showing up here are basically getting free leads. So the goal is for my client to be in this top three when people are searching for his services around his area. Now, how does Google pick which businesses to show up here? Three things. One, how close Google thinks you are to the person who's searching. Two, whether or not Google believes you do the service they're looking for and at the location that they are searching from. And three is whether or not Google believes you are a trustworthy business. So those are the three main factors. And so I use a tool called Local Falcon to track exactly where the business is ranking at any particular area when someone is searching for a service. So for example, rendering service, this is a search for rendering service, and each dot point is going to check where your business is ranking. So you can see as I go through these different businesses, each of them have a bubble around their location, and each dot point represents what position they're ranking if someone searches rendering service from that particular area. And as you can see, depending on the size of the business and how much they've done local SEO, which this is essentially is, their bubble will either be bigger or better. And when I say better, meaning they have more greens, which is 1, 2, or 3. You always want to be 1, 2, or 3 because no one clicks on more places. And so everyone picks from the businesses that are in the top three. So that's where you want to be. All right, about the business that I'll be helping. Name is Elite Rendering and Venetian Plaster. So as the name suggests, he is a rendering services and Venetian plaster expert and contractor. He has over 26 years of experience. So he has a lot of projects behind him. And so quality is there, but the online presence is zero. When I say online presence is zero, he basically has no website. His Google business profile is essentially number one, it was suspended for some reason, and also it wasn't optimized. And so he gets zero leads from Google directly. Most of his work currently comes from HiPages and referrals. And the goal is that he hopes to get consistent leads. Now, if you know anything about the rendering industry, you know that they're usually big jobs. Each job takes about a couple of weeks to sometimes even 1 or 2 months. And so he doesn't need high volume of work. If he can get 1 or 2 jobs a month, it can keep him going and keep growing his business for the next few months. So that's the goal with this system that I'll be implementing. So now that we know a bit about the business, what's the plan? How are we going to get him ranking? So just before I do that, as I said, I use Local Falcon to track how the business will be ranks. And that's what I'll be using to essentially track the progress of everything that I'm going to be implementing for the business and to track whether or not they are growing in ranking and how that's translating to more leads and more calls. So before doing anything, this is exactly how the business is ranking when we search rendering service. So as you can see, he's based in the southwestern area, so Liverpool and surrounds, but obviously he serves the Greater Sydney. But right now, his business is invisible. You can see every dot point is 20 plus, which means pretty much he's invisible. No one can find him if someone searches for rendering service or anything like that in and around these areas. And so the hope is that one, as we implement the things that I'm going to cover in a second, he's going to have his own little bubble around his area that's going to be showing up more green. And then as we do more and more, that bubble is going to expand, which naturally results in more calls and more leads. All right, so what's the plan? So the first thing is we'll be optimizing his Google business profile. So he'll be getting it reinstated, making a new one, and then optimizing his Google business profile. The reason why that is super important is because that's exactly what Google is ranking. So this is where we want to show up, and Google is essentially ranking business profiles here. So it's the most important thing. And so we want to make sure that that's optimized. Then we'll be building a website for him. And the website has two main purposes. Number one is to help rank the Google business profile, because again, the main goal is to rank the Google business profile. And number two is that when someone visits the website, we want it to be structured in a way that it is maximized for conversions, maximized for turning visitors into quote requests or calls. So that's the two purposes of the website. And then number three will be basically installing for him a back-end business system that he'll be able to use and manage through his phone. And the idea behind this is that as he's getting leads from the marketing system that we'll be doing, we need a system that's going to help manage these leads easier and also automate some of the processes and help grow his business. I'll be going over each of these in future videos, so stay tuned. Step 4 is citations. So again, this is essentially putting his business details on different trusted directory sites, which help build trust with Google for the business. And the last one is local SEO. It's very general at the moment, but as we get into it and I post more videos, you start to see exactly what I mean by this. But the entire idea is we want to expand the amount of green that is in his rank map when someone is searching for his rendering services. So that's the goal. And that will naturally translate into more calls and quotes, which we'll be tracking, and I'll be showing exactly how I will be doing that in future videos as well. So that pretty much concludes it. In the next video, I'll go over how exactly I've optimized his business profile, what are the things that I focus on when I usually do these, and whether or not that's affected his heat map rankings already. Because you never know. Sometimes you just need to optimize his Google business profile and you suddenly see a lot of greens and naturally translate into calls and leads that will start rolling in sooner rather than later. And sometimes it may require more work. And so as we go through the plan, we'll be tracking exactly how his business heat map is growing and getting better. So see you on the next one and follow me on this journey.